Perfect. All right, so I guess what I'll do is I'll get started with just like a real brief intro about Palm Beach Tech and kind of what we do, and then I will hand it off to you, Francis, and we can go from there.
Perfect.
So just to start out with, for anybody that doesn't know, Palm Beach Tech, we are a tech nonprofit. We started in Palm Beach County, actually downtown West Palm Beach, hence the name. But just in the last probably 9 or 10 months, we've been really making an effort to push out into the rest of South Florida and become more of a regional organization. So now we actually have members from Miami to Martin County. Wyncode is a member of ours. So, you know, our whole goal, vision, and mission is to build South Florida into a tech hub. So one of the ways that we do that is, like, I like to refer to myself as just a professional people connector, because that's kind of what I do. Working with the educational institutions, working with different chambers, you know, our corporate headquartered companies here, and just help connecting all the dots and all the pieces. So some of the things that we offer, which right now it's changed a little bit because we're, you know, all working remote and everything's virtual. But we had our Monday Tech Talks that we were doing every single week. We had quarterly events, annual events such as our hackathon, which we were holding at the Office Depot headquarters in Boca. And now that we're virtual, we still have about 5, I think, things that we're doing every single week, from our Monday community coffees, which are new. They're just discussions basically all around COVID-19, different resources, success stories, sharing best practices, anything that we can do to help connect and support the community through all of this. But then we still have our tech talks that we're recording and pushing through Facebook Live every Monday night. We have our peer groups, our councils that we have on Thursday and Friday evenings. And we have podcasts. The podcasts are brand new. They're recorded each Wednesday at 1 p.m. And we push those also out through Facebook Live and onto the podcasting platforms. But I'll make sure in the chat to put my contact information. So if anybody has any questions, I hear, oh, sorry, I hear a lot of noise. If everybody can stick themselves on mute until we get to the Q&A section, that would be awesome. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, wants to reach out, wants to learn more about the organization, I'm happy to help answer questions. We do have memberships that are individual memberships and company memberships as well. But I'm going to hand that off to Francis and let you take it from here.
Thank you, Nikki. Great.
Sure.
So for those of you that first time hearing about Wyncode Academy, my name is Francis Martinez. I'm the admissions director at Wyncode, and I'm here with Linda, also from our admissions team. She's going to be presenting with me today. We want to talk a little bit about why companies should be hiring women in tech, but also we'll be having a conversation on like why diversity is important too, and why industries are going into tech. So it won't be just about women in tech. Because I see a lot of men here, so that's good. So a little bit about Wyncode. Wyncode is a tech academy located in Wynwood. For those of you that don't know, we teach full stack web development and UX UI. Okay, so today you will have a better understanding on how the world belongs to people who code. I'm going to give you like a few examples on why is this happening. We are strong believers on like every industry is a tech industry. And if you don't believe this, like with these examples, I think you will be finding out more the truth behind this. So one of the companies that I want to mention, it's UPS. They invest $1 billion a year in technology. They are empowering all of their logistics network with more efficient delivery routes like 3D printing, robotics, and drones. So they are investing very much in technology. This example of Goldman also might be interesting for you. Believe it or not, Goldman has more web developers and engineers working on tech than Facebook. So we probably heard about like so many tech companies that and you're looking for jobs just on those tech companies, but you have to also think outside the box, because there's so many companies out there that are investing a lot more in their tech employees. And the last one, before I go to the next one, who here likes Pixas? Thumbs up. If you don't know how to use Zoom, there's a reaction in the bottom where you can put, okay, good. So guys, I don't know if you knew this, but Domino's Pizza, it's a company that decided that instead of being a pizza company that had technology, it would become a technology company that sold pizza. So they are now like, they're branding themselves as a tech company instead of a pizza company. And a lot of companies are doing this. All right, so we have a chat box here. I want to know if anyone here knows what this number means. There's a hint also, but I want to see in the chat box. Sorry, I went to Q&As. No, but close. So we have number of women coders in the US, no. Open source code projects, no. The amount of women working in tech, also no. But very close. Needs of coders. So yes, this is actually the amount of jobs that are available in computers. So let me go back to my presentation. Hold on. Nikki, how do I go back to?
Can you not see your presentation now?
No, but you see it, right?
Yes,
so,
it's still shared with us, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Good, so this number shows you how many companies are out there hiring computer jobs nationwide. And what's most important is that only between 65 to 70,000 are computer science students that have graduated into the workforce last year. So what I want to say is that there's more demand, and you can see the updated stats on this on code.org. It's very fascinating to know this. And a lot of companies, and you probably know this, and I see that all of you are wanting to know how to get your foot in the door in these companies. And I know Nikki shared a lot of tips before, but she will probably be sharing more about this. I definitely want to share with you guys that companies like Google, Apple, IBM, and more companies have changed their requirements to no longer require a college degree. So anyone that goes through a coding bootcamp or that has hands-on experience, they are capable of getting their foot in the door with those skill sets because what they're looking at is hands-on experience. Great. And something very interesting I want to share with you is the fact that most of the consumers' purchases that are made, it's 85% by women, and that's a big number. And it took the industry years to realize that the importance of this. Just to give you an example, you probably have wives, sisters, who usually makes the decision on like what to buy or a gift to give or some type of decision or where to go for like a trip or a vacation. Most likely it would be a woman. This is shown by stats. So if you have women in your team actually handling the decision making of that product, of that design, of how that website would look like, of the user friendly and how you interact with that, most likely it will increase your conversion because it's made by women that are usually in the decision making process. So companies are realizing that the importance of having more women in the tech industry because it does increases their goals. So that's why the workforce, it's increasing. It's not there yet. It's not 50-50. We're still working on closing the gap, of course. but it's looking a lot better than years ago. So 47% of the workforce is female in general, but only 12% of engineers are female. If we increase this number, a lot of products are going to be much more user-friendly than before.
And Frances, I don't think your slide is showing the next one.
Yes, so let me stop sharing my screen for a second and do it again. Just one quick second, sorry about that. Okay. All right, were you able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Great, so what I want to say with all of this is that more companies are hiring a diverse team because they are seeing the need of increase in their like satisfaction, user-friendly products and product development in general. And with a diversity team like of women and people from all backgrounds, that increases very well and it creates a better collaboration. And when you're in tech, you want to make sure you are collaborating in a team that when you're a developer, you're not just working with yourself, you're collaborating with a designer, with a project manager, and bringing different points of view. It makes a positive impact in the company. So a lot of companies are aware of this, and that's why they're looking to hire more women in tech and more diversity. Now I would like to hand it off to Linda, who's going to go over more information about women in tech and our programs.
Hi, everyone. So like Frances said, my name is Linda. I'm part of the admissions team here. And just as a reminder, we are a tech boot camp in South Florida. So really our mission is to help those who maybe didn't have a computer science degree or want to get into tech industry and realize it's not too late. So like I said, our mission is to really develop successful coders and product designers within a extremely immersive environment. So we don't only focus on teaching our students the necessary tech skills like coding or design, we also want to make sure that they graduate ready to enter the workforce, understanding business acumen as well. So our students graduate with the extensive hands-on experience in tech, but also they learn how to communicate effectively. Like Frances said, our developers and designers collaborate with one another because it mimics the real world and the tech teams that we see out there. And they also learn how to present an idea, work with like business stakeholders, anything that will prepare them for the workforce. So we are really proud to say that our cohorts or our programs are 52% female. So that's from our last stat in 2020. Of course, we are constantly working to close that gap more and more. But again, it's just something that we are proud of at the moment. It's a result of all these companies hiring more diverse employees, specifically more women in tech. So Frances, if you want to go to the next couple slides. Oh, yeah, perfect. So you can see there, like I said, our demographic is a little bit more female than men. It's really, really great, honestly. And one thing we're doing, we don't want to stop there. Like, great, we met that 50-50 split at Wyncode, but that's not going to be enough for us. We want to constantly work to close that gender gap in the tech industry. So we've actually committed $1.4 million to help women launch their careers into tech. So if anybody is interested, if you know someone who wants to be a woman in technology, like I said, it's not too late. Basically, you would reach out to us, complete the admissions process. So that would be an admissions interview, an online aptitude test, and then you would apply for the scholarship by sending in a written essay or a video application. And it's just a chance for admissions to really hear your story. What's it like to be a woman in you know, whatever industry you're now in now, why do you want to get into tech? How do you think you could help minimize the gender gap? Anything. Again, it's just a chance for us to hear what your background is. And so if you want more info on that, you can click on the link in the slide. But we can also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. My contact info will be at the end of the presentation. So Francis, you can go. Perfect. So I know we spoke a little bit about Wyncode's programs. These are actually our 2 full-time programs. So these are catered toward those who are looking for career change. So they're very immersive. You know, we don't try to hide the fact that it is going to be a lot of hard work, a big time commitment, but the goal is to take you from 0 to software developer or a digital designer within 10 weeks. So you don't need any prior background in tech. Like I said, again, it's never too late for someone to get in the tech industry, and that industry is always going to keep growing. So if you're interested in coding, the full stack web development could be a great fit for you. You would learn essentially how to become a software developer, how to build out a digital product or a web application on both the front end and back end. If you are more of a creative, the UX UI program could actually be a best bet for you. It is really learning how to build, research, and design a digital product. So those programs, they're 10 weeks, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And like I said, they are catered toward those who are looking to transform their lives and get into the tech industry. So we do have our own in-house talent team that will help you with the job search once you graduate. So you'll receive a bonus career week, and they'll go over lessons around, you know, resume editing, what it's like to look for a job in the tech industry, how to market yourself, how to prep for interviews. But they'll also connect with you one-on-one to understand like what type of jobs you're looking for now that you've got a better grasp on tech and the different jobs that could be related to the program you just graduated from and different locations. Everyone's going to be different. So like I said, you'll connect one-on-one, and that job support is going to be for the rest of your life. This number here, we're really proud of as well. It's actually our job placement number. So we are one of the few companies that does a transparent job placement report. Essentially, a third-party company reaches out to our graduates, asks them, you know, what their entering salary was, how long it took them to get a job. They compile all of that data, and we have a report that you guys can read. So if you want more information on that, the link is in the slide. Feel free to go there and download it. And then lastly, so these are some of the accolades that Wyncode has been honored to receive. Honestly, it's really a result of the Wyncode community and having them go out and build the tech industry, and really just, especially in South Florida, really continuing to build that tech hub. One accolade we're actually really proud of is the award from the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce. We received the Female Leader in Tech and Outstanding Contribution because our CEO is a boss lady, Joanna Mikola. She is probably one of the most influential women in South Florida in the tech industry. She was named 40 under 40. If you ever get a chance to talk to her or learn from her, definitely reach out. But we're very lucky at Wyncode to have a very high amount of women in tech leadership and also a woman leading our company. So if you guys have any questions, this is my contact info. You're welcome to reach out. We can talk about what it's like to be a woman in tech, taking that risk to change your career, or talking about any of the programs in general. Any questions?
I've actually got a couple. So I wanted to know, I guess it was 2 questions, I wanted to know first what you guys have seen like on the Win Talent side and with helping place women as far as for salaries. I know from personal experience, but also just, you know, with my background in staffing, that a lot of women are not taught on how to negotiate or how to ask for the salary that they feel like they deserve, and that naturally women, if, you know, they say, okay, I want to make $75,000 a year. If they're offered 55, they'll more than likely they'll come back and say, okay, fine, if that's all you can pay, and they just accept it. A man will typically not do that. So what is your
so funny, Parker, on the Zoom, on the applications where you see people sitting there watching?
Sorry. So what is your advice for, you know, how do you get the women the confidence and those negotiation skills to go out and actually ask for the salaries that they feel like they deserve?
That's a great question, actually. So during that career week, that is something that we like our Wyncode team does specific lessons around negotiating salary. What is the target market that you're looking at? How, you know, different things that would prep them for that job search. I'm not sure if Beto is on here. He's part of our team. He actually works directly with our new graduates, so he might have some more insight. I'm not sure if he's on, but he's
If he doesn't jump in, I can help also answering that. It's a very good question. So the average salary it's 52,000 right after the boot camp. Now, keep in mind, this bootcamp is designed for people that are looking to change careers. So most likely they don't have like a background in computer science. So it's their very first job in tech. And as a junior developer, that's what the salary average is after bootcamp. And we really don't see a difference if it's like women or men, because as I said, a lot of companies, especially here in South Florida, they're aware that women are great coders and they appreciate like women in their teams. So if we don't see like that being a problem, thank God. So it's actually looking very good for women after they finish. Now there's also cases, and I could say just an example, like people that go through the bootcamp that have some experience that could leverage that experience towards a new career, they could negotiate a better salary, yes. Like in our UX UI program, for example, we sometimes get a lot of like graphic designers joining, and then they graduate as a UX UI designer, and it just makes them stronger designers. And that just helps them get a better salary. I think an average, a good salary would be around $70,000 after the bootcamp.
Okay. My second part to the question was, because a lot of times when people bring up the discussion around women in tech, it's always the discussion of, you know, there's not enough diversity. We can't fill enough jobs with these women. You know, there's never enough. And, you know, I always want to stay away from also creating that negative connotation around the men, because there are a lot of men that do want to help support women, just don't know how. Do you have any advice for the men that are like, look, I'm willing to bring women on my team or to, you know, be a better manager of them? Do you have any advice for those men that might, you know, be open to advice or wanting some?
Hire women. It will make your organization a lot better. That's my advice. But no, for real, I think bringing my point back to the fact that women have just this attention to detail to create and coming up and make something functional from scratch with a different point of view. So if you bring that point of view into your organization, you're just going to get all different results. And the better you experiment with new things, the better your interaction with users is. So I think they just need to like give it a try. And I know from experience, companies that have hired women, they just want to hire more and more because they've seen this happening. I know it's sometimes and it's not just women. I think it's just in general with like hiring juniors in tech. It's something that companies will also question. But people that go through a boot camp that's hands-on gives them the technical skill sets, regardless if they're women or men. It doesn't really matter. They are capable of like developing great products because they've been going through a lot of hands-on experience. By the end of the bootcamp, both women and men are building and typing 5,000 lines of code. They have a great portfolio. So by showing that to companies, companies will appreciate that a lot, and they will see that they could bring lots of great results. So my advice is just go ahead and hire them because they're great.
Yeah, and you actually touched on, we have a comment in the chat. Well, it's, I guess, a question and a comment. Are women as talented in coding as men? I believe that a lot of companies don't hire women due to different lifestyles and priorities that women have. What is your view, or what have you seen around that?
Okay, I'm seeing the question.
Connection lost.
I personally, I have not had this experience with companies before. I think your question is more in general. Yes, there's that thought in companies, but we work really closely with companies in South Florida. And these companies here, like I can only speak for South Florida because that's where we have most of the experience. Most of our hiring partners, which are over 350 companies, they are here located in South Florida. And they have hired a lot of our women in tech that gone through the full stack program and the UX UI bootcamp. So they are not like worried about their type of like their lifestyles or any other priorities. I can only speak for the companies that are right here. And yes, I agree with someone, Nathan. Women are 100% as talented as men in coding. That's 100% right. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I can just add to that too, I think it's a lot of that is just our culture, and it's just kind of preconceived notion that, you know, and I think kind of what maybe that comment was alluding to is that, you know, having children and families and things like that, us maybe putting priorities over our work. And I think that that is changing culturally, but also is just that there's actually a lot of men that are stay-at-home dads now and are struggling to get back to work because of the same things. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure some people on the call know, Elizabeth Decker has been very open about this. And she's a VP of IT at a South Florida company now, and she's got the opposite, where she is the breadwinner of the company. Her husband stays home with the kids, and now he's trying to get back to work now that the kids are older and struggling to do so because he's been out of work. So it's literally, you know, flip-flopped, but it's typically, you know, a woman's situation. But I think that a lot of that is changing. And I think that also, I think a lot of companies are starting to realize how talented women are, and that they're trying to make a lot more, I guess, you know, changes in HR and within cultures of the company, work from home, different hours, you know, places in the office, whether it's for breastfeeding or childcare, whatever it may be. I think that a lot of companies are seeing that, and that changes are being made. I know it's probably not as fast as we all want it to be, but I do think a lot of companies are trying.
Yes, 100%, and especially here in Miami, they are aware of this, and they're working on closing the gap. And like Linda said, there's also like great women that have impacted the Miami tech scene here, like our CEO Joe, and also yourself, Nikki. Like, you're doing a great job bringing all of this companies in tech together. So if we are like doing a job like together, I'm sure like a lot of more companies will just continue hiring more women. It just takes more people to collaborate together.
Yeah, agreed. Does anybody have any other questions? 'Cause I'm looking through the chat, and you guys have done a good job of answering people as you go along. I'm trying to see in here if there's some of them that maybe for the ones that are not reading the chat, like Linda, I know you had responded to one answer that you have a full-time program at 15,000, but you have partial scholarships and financing options available as well. Can you guys touch on that at all, the scholarships or financing, for the people that may have questions around that?
Of course. So, you know, we talked about the Women in Tech Scholarship that, you know, women can apply for, but we do also have a WinFam scholarship that's eligible for anyone. It really is, again, the chance for admissions to hear your background, why you want to get into the tech industry, how you relate to our core values, and just understanding who you are more as a student. So those are the two generic ones that would require just a written essay. We do have other scholarships as well for Teach for America. We have the GI Bill and Veteran Scholarship if you are a veteran. Lots of different options out there really to finance that tuition and help support the cost. So if you have any specific questions, the best thing would probably be to reach out to me directly.
And I think it's also important to announce we have good news to share. We are now back on track with CareerSource. What that means is that we accept their vouchers, which are grants. What I want to say is that you can go to Wyncode with a full scholarship with the help of CareerSource. Mm-hmm. You do need to be a Miami-Dade resident and unemployed or low income. So there's like few requirements, but if you meet those requirements, you could get like a full scholarship, which is a great opportunity for those that are being laid off right now.
I see there's a comment in the chat too, Ed. There are a lot of preconceived notions by employers that are not fully revealed for obvious reasons. That has been my experience and the experience of others, such as Black and other minority women, senior citizen activists, etc. Yeah, I think you're very right, Ed. That a lot of the preconceived notions are probably things that they're not going to be verbalized. Trying to see if there's.
Hey guys, this is Joe Russo, just chiming in over here. Thank you so much to Wyncode for taking part in this today. I did want to say, congrats on the whole CareerSource scholarship. We are obviously partnering with CareerSource Palm Beach County, and one of the things that we've obviously tried to do is find all of these different opportunities to connect them up. So I'd like to explore and see maybe if there's a way to expand that scholarship even up this way for those who don't live in Palm Beach or don't live in Miami-Dade County, being that there are some other partnerships. And these are things that we're constantly looking for too, as there might be some opportunities out there where people are taking this time to go and reskill or upskill, learn a little bit more. But, the amount of work that Wyncode has put into the industry, I mean, I think you guys have been around for 5 or 6 years now. Yeah. That there is nobody in South Florida that can say they've been around longer in the education space as far as coding goes. So they are definitely the experts here. And I just wanted to thank you guys for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're definitely open to expanding this. It's of course a bit out of our hands. It's a CareerSource that allocates those funds, but we will try our best to expand it to other cities because I think this is an opportunity that a lot of people here in South Florida, especially Palm Beach, can benefit from. We've seen great talent from Palm Beach.
And I had another question that you guys had touched on in the chat, just if you can expand on a little bit, was so somebody had asked about the courses that you guys are still doing them. They're just obviously remote right now and they're online learning. So when COVID-19 hopefully goes away soon and we all get back to normal, are you guys going to continue to have some remote online learning, or is it going to go all back to in-person?
Yeah, so basically as soon as we get the okay and that it's safe again to be back in person, the staff and any student who chooses to have the in-person experience will transition back to our campus in Wynwood. But we are also offering fully remote option to those who may be out of state or it's just tricky to travel. So yes, it is an option.
Okay, good to know. And then I don't know if you guys knew this, but we actually confirmed Joanna and Yuha. They're actually going to be our next podcast guests next week on Wednesday. So just to let everybody here know that they're going to be on Wednesday at 1 p.m. And it'll be live on our Facebook page. So we'll have both of them on next week.
Great. Thank you, everyone. I don't know if anyone has any more questions about
yeah, I'm looking in the chat. Anything else? If anybody's got anything else, if you want to speak up really quick or take yourself off mute, but I think you guys have done a good job of going through them all.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki, for having us.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.